Helen. I grew up in Boston. I moved here to Chicago. I do research like you, Julia. So I'm Chinese American and grew up here. And my husband is French. But we met in Shanghai because I worked in Shanghai for like 5 years. And he had worked there as well. So that's how we met. So we share like Chinese things, sort of. But then coming here to Chicago and moving back here to America, I feel like things are a little bit not so clear all the time.
My name is Antonin, I'm 43 years old. I'm French and I live in Chicago for like, I don't remember, like 10 years-ish. I was born in the south of France, but I lived in Morocco, Madagascar, Réunion Island, Fijis, China, and now Chicago. A world traveler.
I guess I tried to have one meat dish and then some vegetables. On a good day, I'll have a fish. It's like the way, Chinese style, you're supposed to have a little bit of everything. And then you have your rice. It's called song, right? It's called song because it's almost like accompanying your rice, right?
I mean, I kind of like the idea of like a meat, something, what is it, lipid? Like pasta, noodles, or whatever. Veggies, like the triangle of like a sort of protein. Try to respect that. To tell you that I'm trying to eat healthy would be a complete lie because I'm trying to. The reality is sometimes a bit different. But I try to stay carb conscious mostly. I'm not a huge meat lover. I don't mind meat, but if I have just veggies and simple stuff cooked.
For dinner time, if I'm in a gym class, then he will do it with Marcus. Marcus is my son. And if he's in a class, then I'll do dinner with Marcus. So mostly we just have like dates with our son for dinner. Sometimes like weekend or like lunches on the weekend, the three of us will have meals together or we'll go out to eat. And then now summer's, coming, so it's getting warmer. We can, barbecue on the deck, which will be nice. But yeah, it's very not like consistent every day. So my last name is Tong, which actually it's the character for soup. Growing up, we always start with soup, like broth. So Chinese, Cantonese broth soup. To feel healthy and to feel like I had a good Chinese meal, I need to start with having soup. We start with a bowl of soup and then we have our rice and then we have all the dishes and then you end with the soup as well, right? Now that I've gotten older, it's kind of like just drinking tea, right? It's like nutritious. And it's just broth usually. So build the broth with like either pork bones or chicken bones. I'll use chicken feet in it sometimes too for the bones and the taste and the fattiness, I guess, from the chicken feet because it's all skin. And then I have a lot of like these Chinese, ingredients. Shrooms. This is ginseng. This is like, yeah, dried ginseng, but they're cut up. So they're cut up, so I just throw them in. This kind of mushroom. Like sometimes I'll call my mom and I'll just ask her what I need to buy when I'm at the Chinese market, and she'll just tell me. Black eggs, usually for making rice soup. So I'll put in like if I'm sick, I feel like I need to have joke in with like with the egg and the pork and all that. All the Chinese markets has them. Yes, I know. I don't even know why I have a random egg there, but these are also herbs and stuff that I'm supposed to use for if I get sick. I honestly don't I'm so lazy to make it all the time. Yeah, like my mom has come and she's like bought all of the stuff with me and then she like packed, she puts it in these little things and tells me like, okay, just put a little bit of this, put a little bit of sugar, put a little bit of, this is like almonds, little almonds. She tells me to put it all together, but honestly, like, yeah, and then this is also very sweet, and you drop it into like, I don't know all the names, but like that's how I can just preserve. They're like when you get sick kind of soup. But those, like the soups for dinner, this is yansambokai, which is just chicken and the ginseng. There's another one that's just pork bones and watercress with carrots, and I'll put some of these dried scallops for flavor. I used to just eat these like as a kid. So there's like certain little recipes that are really simple. There's only like 5 or 6 ingredients, and I just remember them. So my cousin, who's Chinese, her mother-in-law who lives with her, just knows a lot more about these soups and stuff. So she told me to go buy this. I guess they're good for your lungs when we're coughing. So again, they're savory soups, right? So I'll put this in with some pork. Lily buds, dried lily buds. She asked me to put some of these in. Mushrooms are something I'll put in a lot. These are like shredded up, like, you know. Yeah, mushrooms. I will either use this little one if it's like, you know, just the two of us. And usually it's just me and Marcus because Antonin doesn't really like drink the soups much. But Marcus will drink it. So then I'll make that. Or I'll use the big pot. You know, a big pot for like. But Marcus likes to drink it, which I'm happy about. He enjoys that it's hot, and I guess something I can just pass on to him. And I do tell him, you know, our last name is Tong. You know it's soup, right?
I was not really experienced in the kitchen, nor really interested until I became a father.
I just cook what Marcus will eat. He always likes spaghetti, but not usually with sauce. So I'll just cook up like some meat and vegetables, mix it up, and then spaghetti, and then throw it in. And that's pretty much it. Add some cheese.
But when it comes to cooking, really, for Marcus, I try to do, okay, it's a fine balance between what's healthy and what he likes. Because if I just cook what he likes, I know all the healthiest part goes out the window. And if I cook only healthy, I know it's going to be not a pleasure, kind of a sneaky cheater type of things. I found out, for example, but not all type of veggies. But if you blend them and make some sort of a potage, suddenly it's like, oh, you know, like, and again, that's one aspect. So how do you get to that? But also how you present it. I've been told by my mom, and I think she's spot on, the way you present food matters as much as how it tastes. And it conditions you to how it tastes. So if I make, let's say, a veggie blend of stuff, you know, it's gonna have this greenish, orangey color, which is not really appetizing. But if I put it into a shot, you know, like a small glass, just fill it there, add a little bit of seeds on the top, you know, something colorful so that it stands out. So it's just pretty to look. I'm not saying it's a done deal, it's gonna win, but I think it tips the balance into the favor of like, at least I'm gonna try it. We also have, Helen got those bento boxes, and I have him by myself over a long period of time. So here's a bento box, and once you put, like, say, rice, meat, bit of veggie, you have different color. Visually, you can try to make it more appealing.
So yeah, we'll do noodles once in a while, like stir fry as well. So Antonin's trying to eat more vegetable stuff, so he'll, you know, just kind of put a bunch of vegetables. Sometimes he'll use the rice cooker for that. We like seafood, so there's some octopus here. Some of the stuff is just for lunch. Fried tofu, and just put that into different things. Garlic. Yes, fish balls, you know, just quick and easy things that you can just throw in together. Some enoki mushrooms, the fruits for the summer. These are longan. So in Chinese, they're called dragon eyes, longan. When I used to go to Hong Kong and visit in the summertime, like when I was a kid, we used to go when it was in season, so we'd always have these. Or lychees also, because it's only in season in the summer in that area. It's nostalgic for me. So then I try to bring the things that I think that I find nostalgic, you know, and introduce it to Marcus. I still enjoy eating a lot of meats and seafoods, and I would say Antonin tries not to do as much meat anymore. He'll eat seafood, but his preference isn't always seafood. But it's just hard to get seafood all the time. And like, you have to go every day and get it fresh, but otherwise it's not. But yeah, this is watercress. You know. So put this in with like carrot soup and stuff. And then we have fruits down here. Oh, and I don't even know. Oh, he put a bunch of these things for fruit. So this brand, they're really good. They're really good, and they're really quick to do. So I haven't really, like, we have, like, Xiaolongbao is really good from Shanghai. So we really liked it there. And I get a big batch of them usually.
I used to do a lot of cooking based with butter. I stopped for myself because I'm like, you know, then I'm like, you know, stuff. And I switched to olive oil mostly. But again, not out of belief, just because I feel it's just less fat. Still oil anyway, but it's still better. Sometimes, depending on the recipe that I want to make or the dish I want to make, I will blend both. I used to buy everything fresh when I was not in the US. I didn't mind it. But in the US, I'm kind of a bit of a flip side about things being fresh, which is I can't prove you scientifically that it's right or wrong. I prefer to buy frozen food, like frozen veggies and frozen fruits, and just work with it, even though it's less crunchy and it feels less fresh. If it sits in a freezer, it to me just naturally, just you can preserve it longer than fruit or vegetable here that are, you know, overspread with water in the aisles. You know, like you have these string, sometimes that are not ripe. You buy like a mango and it's like effing green, and you have to put it in the sunlight for like days.
This is another herbal formula that everybody has. You can taste it. It's just like supposed to be. It's mostly honey and herbs, but it's like good for your throat. So anytime we feel sick or have a little cough, yes, I will just give this to Marcus because this is something again I grew up with. Marcus, do you want chumpa pipago?
No thanks.
Not right now? Okay, I'm gonna have Julia try it. So this is a very nostalgic kind of chumpa pipago.
Can I try? Just try.
Yes, you can try chumpa.
Okay.
This is very Cantonese, and they've never changed this packaging. They've never changed this for like who knows how many years. But again, when he makes soup, and my soup is very different, I told you, his kind of soup is usually like gravy. When he thinks of soup, it's thick, very French, I think. And it's like a sauce, like a chowder or like butternut squash soup. I learned to like those, but I didn't grow up with that. It's broth. I'm just drinking the broth and I don't really eat the vegetables and I don't eat the meat all the time. The things that I think is very French that I didn't do was for breakfast, they always have something chocolate. And I don't usually eat sweet things for breakfast. Sometimes he'll make, when he was really little, I'm like, why are you giving him hot chocolate? So hot chocolate is a very common breakfast item in France for kids. And then it just kind of molds into anything chocolate. So then he'll have some, maybe a waffle, an Eggo or whatever. He'll put chocolate on top, or we'll do toast and then we'll put like some chocolate syrup on it. It's always something chocolate, like on the side. I feel like Marcus has really grown up and that's become his habit. But to me, it's a very French habit. For my breakfast has always been just American like cereal. So I get the cereals for him. So he'll do this with cereal and milk usually. Okay, so living together and like learning to live together with our habits and stuff. Okay, I was gonna show you how we put our cups away. We've had this argument about putting away our cups. So I like to use the dishwasher and he likes to hand wash. And then whenever we put our cups away, if they're in the cabinet, I just put them up this way. He always puts them up upside down. So you can see like who has done it. You know, sometimes I will come in and like turn back over. So I don't know, he has a habit of doing this. So if they're on the outside, I will cover it because I don't want them to get dusty. We've argued about it and now I gave up. Just whatever. Like these little things don't matter after a while. You live together, really not worth arguing about anymore. So now like I just get annoyed because they don't look all the same or whatever, but then now I just, I want to go and turn it over.
So about the cup putting upside down, there's actually a story for that. Helen likes to put them on the top, and so you can tell who's been washing what. When you say that applies, but I will say this, for Helen, it applies for the cups, and sometimes for the glasses. But anyway, it's fine. Again, everybody has their own rule. The reason why I do it, putting it down, is one is just practical because one is just more human design. Don't think if I wash and if I rinse, it's supposed to rinse this way. My natural reaction would be let's save a movement to do it this way. But that's not the actual reason. It's also because I feel this way the dust it doesn't get whatever. But also because I used to work in a cafe, and in cafes you can go anywhere. They never put the glass down. And there's two reasons for this particular habit. Is because when you have 30 glasses, if you put one up, you actually don't know if it's been used before. It's a cue. So you put it down, it's clean. It's also easier to stack, on the racks over the counters. For let's say the wine glass, you just put them one after the other. It's always facing down. And since I used to have like summer jobs in cafe, because I was living with roommates before and also by myself with other women before and stuff, and I found out that if I have to think about sharing a house, there's nothing more territorial than the kitchen and potentially the bathroom. What I mean by this is like we've been taught by different people, our parents or people we live with, that there is like the rules of the kitchen, and everybody tends to be very territorial about oh, we have to do it this way, you know? And I'm like, not really. I'm more like, I like to do it this way, but I don't force other people to do it. So it's always a fine line when you're walking into a shared kitchen. For example, I remember Helen, when we started, I'm going to answer your question, but I'll give you two stories before to prove the point about. So when we started living together, I used to do dishes like, you know, it's like, well, okay, it's all washed and it's all thrown away on the dish rack in zero order, especially knives, put this way. And for me, yeah, exactly. See, you go, see, house rules. For me, it was fine, but I remember one evening she went totally like, I'm going to lose my mind if you keep doing that and everything. And again, I'm not against house rules of others, but I'm like, that makes sense. So again, it's about how you fix I'm not going to say a bad habit, but not a best habit altogether into turning into a good habit. And now it's kind of something like this. And in retrospect, I see my mom who still does it this way. I'm like, okay.
Yes, so Joseph has the cutting board that's like a file folder. No, so we used to have it like, you know, it's supposed to be standing up, brandish for them. But we found this like, you know, so we found this like spot where we could just stick the thing in there. So this has become very convenient, even though we can put two in there. I really like this brand, the Shin brand for knives. This was a recommendation from a friend. She said that brand was really good. For household stuff like Joseph, I really like because they have just unique. This is supposed to be, you know, you can pull it out to make it bigger for dishes. So I like to see what they have that's new all the time, just because it's a fun brand. Yes, it's a drying rack. And then I usually do OXO. Good design, and yeah, this is OXO. This is also OXO. Like I try to buy the things that I can throw in the dishwasher. So I throw it in the dishwasher just to be able to freshen it up. Throw this in the dishwasher too sometimes. Even this you can throw in the dishwasher. Right. So I got this tagine up there. Oh gosh, it's hard for me to bring it up. When I was in Shanghai, there was a really good Moroccan place that we liked. And then when we go back to Paris, there's also a Moroccan place that we like to go to with like couscous. He introduced me to that. And then I tried to do it at home and I was like, oh, it'll be fun to get this. It just basically is like a ceramic steamer. So then you just put like couscous and like the meats and vegetables and then you just steam it. I feel like that's something that if I never met him, maybe I wouldn't have been introduced to it. But I don't like, I can only do this for like a really special Thanksgiving, you know, like an occasion where we have time. Yeah, the Cuisinart. So I like this little guy because he's cordless. So you can charge him up and then chop like, you know, the garlic or chop anything. And he's small. So I guess this is my favorite tool. Soda stream. Yeah, we just got the soda stream. Yeah, he likes to use, you know, like bubbly water. Stream from a friend. Coffee is a very significant thing. We both like coffee a lot. It's good. It took me a while to like research all the different machines, but I do like that it can like to tamp nice and it's got the hopper to be able to put the beans in to get it fresh. We'll do Starbucks sometimes, like whatever's, you know, at Costco. Soap-wise, this is all nostalgic. It's very hard, right? Because like Palmolive, I grew up with Palmolive, and like we didn't have Dawn. So, and I also don't like Dawn's smells. So I feel like Palmolive's always just been a better degreaser. I haven't gone to use any of the natural stuff. I feel like they just don't degrease as good. I don't know. I don't go back to use the green stuff. I just buy their like, you know, the same brand, whatever natural, safer option there is usually what I stick with. I hate that it's still all plastic bottles, but like, what can I do? With dishwashing, I did try to go, you know, to get more different options so that they're not as much plastic, right? So that packaging is a little bit better, but they work fine. Once I try them and if they are still cleaning the way I want, then I'm happy to switch. Dishwashing stuff. And then we switched laundry detergent. So I go to Target a lot to get the household stuff. They always give you these gift cards or whatever. So I used to do that with like getting all the P&G stuff. Tide, Swiffer. I would just get all the brands that were P&G because that's mostly how they promote it too. When you look at those brands, you'll figure out that they are P&G brands. Yeah, I've switched over to using the method because it smells nice and it's foaming. It came like already looking nice with metal container and then they have the refill. Usually though with soaps and stuff like that, what's going to change my decision is going to be smell. Yeah. So I don't mind that smell. I used to hate method smells. I have been trying to, like going to do the concentrates more because it's less packaging. Yeah, I try to switch. Even though I am a big SCJ fan just because I work there, like glass cleaner, I have switched to.
Is it from here?
Yes, this is from this. Yeah, it's still good, but you know, I think Windex still works well. So before I did Everspring, I did use Windex as a concentrate. It's fine. Like I will do either. I know I'm biased to Windex because I worked on that.
How do you test the performance?
The glass cleaner,
Yeah.
like whether it streaks, I guess. That's where that's what I learned. So I have the squeegee, right? So if you spray it and then I squeegee it, and it's not supposed to be leaving streaks.
That's it?
Yeah. How much shine and like streakless. You know, it makes it a good glass cleaner, really. Yeah. But you know, I hear people use like newspaper. I don't even know if you can find newspapers anymore. You're not supposed to use paper towel. I feel like the squeegee is the best way in order to get everything and really make it clear, even on your glass mirrors. So just spray, and then you like get a good squeegee, just go on Amazon, put like professional squeegee or whatever, right? So that you get a good squeegee, and then you can wipe off the little part. I still use paper towel. I shouldn't, you know, like for your iPad, use those kind of cloth to get out the rest of it. Windex doesn't have great smells, and they kept trying to change the smells to make them better, and they keep trying to say this one smells better. I still feel like they had to put a lot more stuff in there to keep the formula the way it was to make it really, really streakless. So with Ever and the other like sort of natural brands, they sell it based on the smells. And so I'm like, okay, it's not the best glass cleaner, but I prefer it because I can smell it. Okay, so Antonin got them online, and he's much more environmentally conscious, or he wants to be. They're environmentally, I don't know, like so natural things. They kind of like, they're too rough for me, and then all these little things keep falling off. There's like other composting waste not or whatever in the city, but we just wanted to like do a little bit more to be more environmentally friendly. So the mill compost, you can just put all your scraps in there. So we put in all the fruit stuff, any sort of bits and pieces. Actually, they gave you a list of what's okay to put in, what not to put in. There's an engine in there. There's like this whole carbon filter in the back here. So it's really heavy. So there's a thing that grinds it, and then at nighttime, it automatically turns on to process the food. Like all it's doing is drying and heating, and then it turns it into compost. So then when you're done, you're supposed to take it all out. You can take the compost, and it comes out like this. They give you, like, you can order their boxes and then ship it back to them, or I could use it myself for plants. Yeah, it's a whole process, and I have to pay for it, be part of the system, but I feel like it's better than doing nothing.